So, Leighton, let's begin with the categories of fuel where we are likely to see an increase and why.
So, unfortunately, the categories we're looking at that are going to increase are 93 octane, illuminating paraffin, and I think perhaps more concerning of all, both grades of diesel, and that's expected to increase by 13 cents a litre. Those are the provisional figures mid-month, and they may change before the end of the month, Tembekile. But I say worryingly because we know that diesel is one of those fuels that's used extensively in the agricultural sector, in the manufacturing sector, and that goes to input costs of those sectors. So when those input costs increase, obviously they have to pass those increases on, and you and I as consumers have to then foot that bill.
But there is a difference in the prediction for 95 octane. Why is the forecast there different?
Look, there's a different refining process for the different fuels, and you'll find on very many occasions that fuel grades are going to cost less and are going to increase at different rates than others. And this is one example, and that has to do with the processes that fuel has to go through to get into your tank or to get ready to get into your tank. And because of that, we've seen that it's the decrease there is a very marginal 1 cent decrease. I think importantly, though, let's have a look at the numbers as a whole, and those are not painting a pretty picture mid-month.
How concerned are you then as an industry about the likely impact of what's going on in the Middle East, all of which is coming from the recent tensions between the Americans and the Iranians? Do you consider that to be over and done with, or are you still quite nervous?
Yeah, I don't think it's over till it's over. And I think that the tensions in the Middle East certainly, in our view, have got some ways to go to be finalized. We are concerned about the tensions in the Middle East, and as we've seen over the last couple of weeks, the price of crude oil has increased by $2 a barrel, and that is concerning because when that oil price goes up, it means that it's going to affect fuel consumers locally, and certainly that is a worry for us. When you consider the other factor that influences the fuel price being the rand-US dollar exchange rate, tensions in the Middle East may impact on that as well. So you're looking at a situation where the currency is going to be less valuable against the greenback, which is one of the big indicators of the influences of the fuel price. And the product that we are buying is becoming more expensive because of these tensions. So it just means that we are at the mercy of this geopolitical development, and we're certainly very concerned about that, Tembekile.
And just very briefly then, Leighton, as we end, outside of that Middle East crisis, what other factors should we be monitoring as far as the influences on the fuel price over the next 12 months? Is there anything else that we should be looking at?
I think the situation in America obviously may influence the value of the dollar, the proceedings at the moment that are going on in the Senate and the House. That's certainly something that I think we need to monitor. Obviously, the developments in Russia as well, the latest developments there may have an impact on the international petroleum prices. So there are a number of different things around the world. And I think the question that you've raised is quite significant, Tembekile, because I think South Africans need to realize that we are at the mercy of geopolitical developments, and these are the types of developments that influence the value of our currency and also international petroleum prices. And we really are at the mercy of these developments, and we need to budget properly if we are consumers to account for that.
Leighton Beard, my thanks to you as always, sir. Great speaking to you. Leighton is with the Automobile Association of South Africa.